Hello, this is Andrew Arcana. I'm trying out another new microphone. This is the one I normally record vocals with for music. And I wanted to talk about one of the decks that changed a lot for me as I learned to read. I've got some water here too. This is actually take 6 as I try different recording configurations and have noisy neighbors. So, quick story. My father was in town from out of state. He asked, can we go to a Goodwill? I took him to the Goodwill that's nearby. And while he looked for his supplies to get him through the last of his trip here and then get him home, I found a large bin of playing cards, poker cards, things like that. And being a sometimes amateur magician myself, I wanted to look at them. And I found this in its original box for $3 used. And it was the Hermetic Tarot. That, again, most of my friends here are fans of the Tarot Oracle show. Probably seen me get a little happy when he brings this out. I don't read with this, but it's in a bag where my regular readers go. I study with this. And I had actually ruined the box by constantly opening it, closing it, so I had to make it a custom bag here. I got this home and got to be by myself and tried to read with this, and I was overwhelmed. I mean, look at that. That is a lot of information there. Venus and Aquarius. There's some text that I'll get to in a moment. 5 of Swords. We have the Lord of Defeat title right about there. I was overwhelmed, but I started to feel like this was a challenge to me. I'd started reading around 2010, and I always had hoped to learn to read traditionally, if nothing else, to pay respect to the people who came before me. What I wound up doing was taking a course called Tarot Card Success, I believe, by Sal Jade. And Sal Jade said to get a Rider-Waite-Smith deck if you could, if at all possible. I've never fully shuffled this deck. It's one of 2 that I own entirely to study from. The course did tell you to shuffle 1 suit at a time and give yourself a sample reading, but I enjoy this deck. I enjoy that there's so much tribute paid to the artist because the artist's name kind of got taken off the box. And in the same way that you like to see the likes of Steve Ditko get honored for their work, you absolutely like to see Pamela Coleman Smith be remembered. As a tangent, in 2010, when I joined the Eclectic forums, they really enforced you say Pamela Coleman Smith. The next thing I did, I don't want to look cooler than I am. This is a $14 journal off of Amazon. It's unlined paper. It's real, sort of... It is very theatric looking, but that's what kind of appeals to me. And so I took the parts from the course that resonated with me, and I have like traditional meanings here. You can see the Knight is the fiery part of air, the astrology that would be found on this deck, the Lord of the Wind and the Breezes, and I began to research in a way that would help this make sense to me, even if I never actually read with this deck. My next step was a book, 672-page volume that I'm still going through, Tarot Deciphered by T. Susan Chang and M.M. Moline, if I'm pronouncing their names correctly. I get their names down there. And I'm enjoying this book. I'll just open to the first card that I can get from the beginning. The High Priestess, the astrology / element, the mythology / alchemy, the Kabbalah, which again I really plan on having only a passing familiarity with for reasons of my own, the Rider-Waite-Smith symbolism, the Thoth symbolism, related cards, and advanced concepts for further exploration. So, is effectively this astrology and element that I'm really, really enjoying right now. I mean, even right here, the High Priestess, the Priestess of the Silver Star, Card number 2, Planet Indignities. Moon rules Cancer, exalted Taurus. Day of the week, Monday. I don't know that I'm ever going to use the day of the week, but it's nice to have. So, I'm going to slide this back to my journal really quickly. So here's my intention. I want to see each of these cards as a language, the same way that they're presented here. Now, the Ace of Swords, the Two of Swords here being the Moon in Libra. Sorry. So let's say I've got the Ciro Marchetti Gilded Royale here. I'm going to do a 3-card YouTuber spread. What do I need to know tomorrow? I'm just going to lay out 3 cards and more or less line up the Hermetic versions of the same cards. Let me put these here. So, what do I need to know tomorrow? The 6 of Cups. The Chariot. This is good. The King of Wands. I couldn't have planned this better. And I promise I didn't. Alright, so really quickly I'm going to pull out the Chariot. The 10, Princess, Knight, Queen, King of Wands. And it's that 6 of Cups. Here we go. My intention is eventually to know 6 of Cups. We have Sun in Scorpio. The Chariot, Cancer. The King of Wands, we have the fiery, or the airy part of fire. The Lord of Pleasure, Lord of Triumph of the Light, and the Prince of the Chariot of Fire. So there's already the native language that we know. The 6 is numerology. The cups are water and the elements. We can start to put those together. We can look at the imagery of this sort of nostalgia and warm feelings of the past. The Chariot obviously is movement. But one of the things I learned is that, as we have usually 2 oppositely colored creatures pulling the Chariot, is sort of warning as well built into the card not to get pulled in different directions. Make sure everything is in line going straight ahead. If you're just going full speed and then both the wheels of your cars go the opposite ways, your car's not going to do too well. I actually had that happen on a Chrysler once. Of course, the King of Wands, the airy part of fire. This is somebody who feels his ambition, perhaps his id, and is going to make a rapid decision. It's going to be for the best as far as the brain goes, but maybe not for the best as far as the human condition goes. That, in my interpretation, would belong to the Queens. She will make the best decisions for all of the people involved, even if it's not logistically the best decision. He'll make logistically the best decision, even if it's not good for the people involved. And sometimes those are 2 different things. So how would I read this as, for me, the next 24 hours? So no matter what kind of memorization I have of these cards, that's as far as that can go. The order of the cards, I normally will use an established spread. The order of the cards are part of the language. The question asked is part of the language. And the person asking the question is part of the story. And the trick is that no matter how much I memorize here, I have to look inward to tell that whole story. Right? So, intuition is a word that's used, and I don't disagree with it, but I think in the plainest terms I have, looking inward. So, for the next 24 hours, here's looking backward, here's moving forward, and here's taking decisive action. But this is looking backward is a good thing. So I say, remember a time that you've been through this challenge before. That you rose to the challenge, that you may even had people around you cheering for you as you rose to the challenge. You know that's part of your past, that's part of who you are, and that's in you. And then take that action. Take that action with confidence that you're going to pull this off again. You're going to be okay again after you've done whatever it is you need to do, whatever it is that you plainly have done in the past before. No need to reinvent anything new. What is here and what isn't here is, by the way, the question. We do have the airy part of fire, and we do have water. We don't really have earth so much. So there's not a whole lot missing, but that would be how I would read this for the next 24 hours. Just remember your past successes and move ahead to the next success because it's in you. Again, my ultimate goal is to see everything as a language that's telling a story. And no matter how much I memorize, I still need to look inward to tell that story. And thank you for listening. Hello, this is Andrew Arcana. I'm trying out another new microphone. This is the one I normally record vocals with for music.